Yeah, bitch, you let me on my own. Ay, I took that dirty now.
Peace. What's good, guys? Let's talk about and discuss Impact Wrestling for November the 3rd, 2022. This show overall was okay at best. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. Eddie Edwards, he's in the desert, and he blames PCO for the demise of Honor No More. Now, Eddie, stop being so full of shit. We all know that AEW and WWE were the demise of Honor No More. Let's get fucking real here. And I'm pretty sure Kenny King will probably go to one of those two companies in the next little bit as well, whenever his contract is up, because they are fucking him over big time in the second run. We'll talk about that when we get there. So Eddie dares PCO to meet him in the Las Vegas desert to end things once and for all. Kenny King versus Mike Bailey. X Division title tournament first round. So, boring ass Mike Bailey wins. Kenny King got fucked over yet again. And I'm tired of it. Kenny King has been booked horrendously during the second run. At least his first run with the company was actually pretty decent. And he was treated very well in his first run with Impact. Back when MVP and Samoa Joe were there, as well as Low Key, when they all were still there at the time. Now it's just like he's just there just to be there, and I really do feel bad for him. Like, I wish for the love of the creator above that fucking Scott D'Amore would stop pushing fucking Mike Bailey. The guy is boring as fucking paint drying on a wall. What in the shit are they doing in Impact? Stop pushing this guy. Shit. Ugh, I feel so bad for Kenny King. He deserves better. And if I was him, whenever his contract is up with Impact, he needs to go to WWE and go to NXT for maybe 6 months, and then they can put him on the main roster, whether Raw or SmackDown, and he will thrive in that mid-card. Alright, moving on. Enough of me ranting about Kenny King and Mike Bailey. Motor City Machine Guns, so they're backstage. They're talking to Josh Alexander saying, you know, you can't trust Bully Ray. And Chris Sabin said he knows from first-hand experience. He's had to deal with it. And so they yet again remind Josh Alexander to not trust Bully Ray. Look, I'm so over Josh Alexander as champion. I really am. I'm so tired of him. He's boring now. He's extremely fucking boring. You know, it's time to start thinking of a way they can get the belt off of Josh Alexander, alright? Like, he's completely played out. Seriously. He has to lose at Rebellion next year. He's got to. They'll probably end up pushing him. I mean, yeah, they'll probably end up still letting him be champion up until Rebellion. And I think once Rebellion happens, that's when they'll probably push someone else to dethrone Josh Alexander. So they'll probably give him that. That way he'll be champion for a full year. Because he did win the Impact World Championship at this year's Rebellion. So that's what they'll probably do. You know, for a second time, mind you. Continuing on. So Deonna Purrazzo and Jesse Green, they blamed Giselle Shaw for their loss last week. And so the three of them start jaw-jacking And so Giselle Shaw passes out posters, and Vex, they rip it up, and they say, look, it's not about you, it's about us right now. And so they split, and Chelsea Green is focused on her match next week with Mickie James, so she's focusing on retiring her. Okay, but we all know that Chelsea Green is going to end up leaving anyway, because rumors have been going around that for whatever reason, I have no idea why, Triple H wants Chelsea Green back. I don't fucking understand that. Deonna Purrazzo needs to actually be in that spot, not Chelsea Green. Come on, Triple H, you gotta think. You gotta use your brain, man. Moving on. Tasha Steelz. Her and Savannah Evans, they're out next. So Tasha gets on the mic, and she says that last week's beatdown was only an appetizer for Savannah Evans. And she makes an open challenge. She wants someone to be Savannah's main course. And so Jessica, who's one half of the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, she answers that call. So we have Savannah Evans versus Jessica. So Jessica loses to Savannah Evans via the full Nelson Slam. And Impact is starting to take the trend of WWE in their women's tag division / knockouts division. Why in the fuck are you constantly changing the titles every 5 seconds? Stop with the bullshit, Scott D'Amore. For real, stop. Alright, 1 minute, Vex has the tag team championships. Next minute, it's Death Dolls. And then it could possibly be Savannah Evans and Tasha Steelz, which I hope, because that would make sense. I don't know. You know, it's weird. Both Rosemary and Ty Valkyrie, they got involved in the match. But anyway, Savannah Evans wins. I'm fine with it. But, man, they've got to really put those titles on a team and stick with them. Like, damn, stop with the changing of the titles all the time. And I feel at Overdrive, that's what they're going to do anyway. They're going to switch the titles around. And honestly, I think that would make more sense at this point. Because Tasha is just sitting there in the mid-card not doing shit. So Killer Kelly, she's still on the prowl. She's looking for a quote-unquote fresh meat. She was talking to a couple ladies in the back. So that's interesting right there. Steve Maclin, he's tired of everyone jumping him in line for the Impact World title opportunity. And he's not going to wait any longer. He's going to take matters into his own hands. And I agree. I feel that he mentions who he's beaten. And, you know, I do think that Maclin needs to be built up properly going forward and be the actual one to dethrone Josh Alexander. I think that's where all roads need to lead. Maclin versus Josh Alexander at Rebellion next year. And I think, hopefully, that's what they go with. So the major players, they're backstage. They're talking about getting a shot at Rhino and Heath's Impact World Tag Team Championships. And then, out of nowhere, they mentioned Say His Name, and my boy, Joe Hendry, he appeared. And he expressed his interest in Brian Myers' Digital Media Championship. And I'm just like, what in the fuck? No, man. No. Scott D'Amore, what are you thinking, bro? Seriously, don't do that. Damn. Like, you can't put him in the X Division title scene for a second and actually rebuild that division and kind of have a really solid mid-card title I've said this for weeks now, actually for months now. The Digital Media Championship is Impact's version of the 24/7 championship. Stop pushing it. We don't need it on television. We don't. The X Division needs to serve, the X Division Championship needs to serve as Impact's version of the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title. That's what needs to happen. Seriously. At this point, the X Division title is becoming as worthless as the TNT Championship over on AEW. So, we're going to talk about PCO. So, PCO and Eddie Edwards, they meet in the desert, and they fight. So, Edwards, he gains some control for a second. Then, he cracks PCO's head open with a rock and a shovel. And I'm like, what the hell? Why are we doing this in the middle of the show? Like, why isn't this closing the show? I don't understand it. But yet we're getting Aussie Open versus, Josh Alexander and Frankie Kazarian. That closes the show. That's the main event. It doesn't make any sense. So, we had a good little brawl between the two. Kind of a decent cinematic brawl. It lasted for all of 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm fine with this. I guess they're going to start their feud. I'm guessing since this happened, probably maybe like a Monsters Ball match between the two. Maybe a steel cage, maybe a last man standing, who knows. But it has to be some type of stipulation to kind of start the feud and just continue to have it go on and continue up until maybe Hard to Kill, which is where it should kind of end. Because you could do the first match at Overdrive, and then you could do the second match on a random episode of Impact, and then have the final match at Hard to Kill in January. So that's what they might do. Moving on. Taylor Wilde, she wants to be in Mickie James' corner for a match against Chelsea Green next week. After all, Peraza will be in Green's corner, and we know what James is capable of. And we know what she's capable of. So Mickie James, she thanks Taylor Wilde for the offer, but she says she needs to do this on her own. Wilde respects her decision and hopes to see her on the other side. Okay, I can respect that. That's kind of cool. Moving on, Eric Young versus Sami Callihan. So, towards the end of the match, the Violent by Design crew, the Yellow Jackets, they get involved. The ref calls for the bell. And then the rest of Violent by Design, they swarm in like a bunch of vultures and beat down Sami Callihan. And then the two guys, they unmask themselves, and it is Big Kon, a.k.a. Konnor from WWE, well, formerly from there, and Alan Angels. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. This is interesting. The reason why I like this is because this allows Alan Angels to have a character and not just be a random flippy-flop jobber like he was in AEW and like he was when he was a babyface in Impact. I think this allows him to build a character and start to see how he can do and work as a heel. So I do like this. Hopefully they can add more people to the actual group. And I do see this as kind of a Impact's own version of the Wyatt family, as a mix of kind of what's going on with NXT with the Schism as well. So I see it's a kind of combination of those two elements, Schism and the Wyatt family kind of take with, Eric Young's cult-like mentality. That's what Bray and Joe Gacy both possess. So I guess that's Impact's way of doing, those two individuals. That's their version of doing that. Combining, that. So, but Sami Callihan, he wins via DQ. But it's pretty cool what they're doing with Violent by Design. So Jordynne Grace, she has photos of Giselle Shaw plastered all over her locker room. She rips them down. One of Giselle Shaw's executive stylist and content creator, Jay Vidal, he's there, and he wants to just capture the moment. So Jordynne Grace takes him out, and she tells him that she wants him to deliver a message to Giselle Shaw saying if she wants to take the Knockouts World title, she can try and take it next week. So setting up a match between the two. I'm not too thrilled about that. I don't think that Giselle Shaw needs to be in the spot, like for real. Just doesn't need to. And where the hell is Masha Slamovich? Like, seriously, what are they doing with her? We haven't seen her in like a couple weeks. We got Moose versus Ace Austin with Chris Bay. So Bully Ray, he gets involved, and he comes down. He confronts Moose for accusing him of attacking Austin in the parking lot. And then Moose is distracted, and so Austin wins via a roll-up. So I'm guessing they're still continuing the Bully Ray Moose kind of feud right there. That's interesting, I guess. Then in the main event, Josh Alexander and Frankie Kazarian versus Aussie Open, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. In a pretty solid TV match. Pretty good for TV. Kazarian and Josh Alexander, they win. And nothing happened, Frankie just looks at Alexander's title and hands it to him. And then we go off the air. Nothing of any significance happened. There was no heat involved in that. There's no heat involved in this feud. I don't even know why they're even facing one another. We all know that Frankie Kazarian is just there just to take the job to Josh Alexander. He's did a job for Josh Alexander, same thing with Bully Ray. I think once they get those two out of the way, then we can really get on to Steve Maclin and Josh Alexander. I think that's where all this is leading to and pointing to at the end of the day. I don't know. This is Impact for all we know. For all we know, maybe there could be something at Hard to Kill. Maybe Moose and Bully go at it, and whoever wins faces Josh at Rebellion. I don't fucking know. I mean, it could be a triple threat match involving, Bully Ray, Josh Alexander, and Steve Maclin. It could be a one-on-one match involving the two. It could be a fatal four-way. Steve Maclin, Bully Ray, Josh Alexander, Moose. You never know. It's fucking Impact at the end of the day. So thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the videos. All in all, this show was okay. It could have been better, but overall, it seemed to hit its strides. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this Bully Ray Moose feud. I'm still kind of interested in what they're going to do with Steve Maclin. Kenny King deserves better. And I'm interested in seeing what they do with Violent by Design. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Everybody has a heroine, trying to find